You heard the story that the gods came down from the heavens, that they chose bloodlines, anointed kings, and walked among men to pass down divine authority. But here's the real truth: they weren't gods, they were survivors, and they buried anyone who remembered otherwise. When Atlantis collapsed, when Lemuria fell beneath the waves, the survivors scattered. But some of them, the loudest ones, called themselves gods. They wore the trauma of collapse like a crown, not to heal the past, but to control the future. They settled in Sumer. They called themselves the Anunnaki. They built stories in stone, wrote lies in clay, and declared, "Our ancestors came from the stars. We are the chosen, the divine, the kings." But while they told you they descended from heaven, they were out here burying the very civilizations that came before them, covering up the evidence of peaceful builders, technological healers, and the real spiritual evolution. Why bury history? Because it's easier to claim the throne when nobody remembers who built the palace. They turned ancestors into gods, turned themselves into sons of gods, and turned every conquest into divine right. From Sumer to Canaan to Jericho to Rome. And let's be clear, this isn't just ancient history, this is the origin of every empire's justification. Israel says it, England said it, the Vatican still says it. Chosen people, holy blood, divine right. But what they're really saying is, we deserve this land, this gold, this power, because our God said so, and we wrote the goddamn story ourselves. Do you get it now? The gods weren't floating in the clouds. They were marching around the cities, blowing horns. They were sitting in councils, rewriting history, plotting invasions, dividing lands, and erasing civilizations that didn't bow to their myth. So, no, the Anunnaki weren't gods. They were humans, strategic, blood-soaked, ruthless. They were brother uncles and sister cousins, and they ruled by fear, not by divinity, but by deception. And they were deeply afraid of what would happen if the truth ever resurfaced, that they weren't divine, just descendants of destruction. And the day would come when the memory of all that was buried would rise again. You are the descendant of forgotten brilliance, not fallen angels, not colonizers, but creators. And now it's your turn to remember.